Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a presentation on cybersecurity. So it's going to be me and my team, Harry, Fatal, Rich and Uday. So we'll be talking about cybersecurity. Yeah. So these are the topics that we'll be covering in this presentation. So starting with cybersecurity, what it is, why is it important, and the different types of cybersecurity as well. So we'll be using examples of the threats that relate to cybersecurity, and we'll be giving examples as well which affect us in our daily life. For example, the key logging as a software and mobile security for devices. We'll be also talking about dark web and how is it related to the cybersecurity and the conclusion on what we learned during this presentation. So let's start with cybersecurity. So what is cybersecurity? Basically, cybersecurity is the protection of your computer systems from threat and damages to your hardware, software, or electronic data. So why is cybersecurity so important? Well, there are many reasons. In today's world, data is important. So at an individual level, a cybersecurity attack can result in everything from identity theft to extortion attempts to loss of important data. Also, critical infrastructures like power plants, hospitals, and financial service companies need to protect their data to keep our society functioning. So there could be other reasons as well. So one of them is rising cost of breaches. So according to the recent statistics, an average cost of data breach of a large firm can be more than 20,000. But this is not the only thing. Businesses also lose their customers, as customers will lose trust in the business and spend their money somewhere else. Therefore, it's a big loss for businesses. The other reason is increasing sophisticated hackers. So every day there are new hackers who come up with different ways and different ideas and technology to attack users. They also have widely available hacking tools. So therefore, a well-funded and highly skilled hacker poses a significant risk to your business or a user, and can use different hacking tools and programs to help the attack be easy. So the last one, which is tighter regulations. So businesses don't need to just worry about criminal attacks. They need to invest more in cybersecurity as well, because as you guys know, there is a new rule which has been introduced, the GDPR, which means that the organizations need to take security more seriously than ever before, or otherwise they will face heavy fees. So therefore they need to spend more amount in that field. So how secure are you? So this depends on three things. So the people, processes, and technology. So as a user, you must understand and comply with basic data security principles. So therefore, for example, using a strong password, being wary of attachments in emails, and backing up your data. Processes, organizations should have a framework on how to deal with both attempted and successful cyber attacks. So basically, one well-represented framework can guide you, explain how to identify an attack, protect systems, and detect and respond to threats, and recover from successful attacks. Technology-wise, it is also important for the user as well as for organizations to have computer security tools needed to deal with any threats. So common technologies used to protect could be next generation firewalls, DNS filtering, malware protection, antivirus softwares, and email security solutions. So types of cybersecurity, there are three types of cybersecurities. One is information security. The other one is, so let's just get with the information security. So information security, the aim of it is to protect users' private information from unauthorized access and identity theft. It protects your privacy of data and hardware that handles, stores, and transmits data. Example of information security could be authentication and cryptography. The next one is network security. So this part is where its aim is to protect the usability, integrity, and safety of a network. The components associated with it and the data shared over the network. So that companies could use, users could use antivirus or anti-spyware programs to protect themselves. They can also use firewalls to block unauthorized access to a network and use VPNs, which are used to secure remote access. And the third one is application security. So this is basically when a software application has flaws in it, and this could help the attackers attack the software much easily. These flaws normally happen during the design, development, or maintenance phase time. So let's talk more about data breach. Sorry guys. So data breach, what is data breach? A data breach is a security incident in which sensitive, protected or confidential data is copied, transmitted, viewed, stolen, or used by an individual who is unauthorized to do so. So for example, hackers and people who are not supposed to use the information. So what information can it be? So it could be your credit card or bank details, personal health information, trade secrets of cooperatives or intellectual properties. What can cause data breach? So there are a number of reasons. Exploiting systems, so basically out-of-date softwares can cause a hole in which allows attackers to sneak malware into your computer. Weak passwords is another one, where having insecure or weak passwords can make it easier for the attackers to guess your password. Also drive-by downloads, so basically unintentionally you can download a virus or malware by simply visiting a compromised web page. The targeted malware attacks as well is another one. Attackers can use spam or phishing email tactics to try to trick the users into revealing user credentials. You can also protect yourself by using strong passwords, which relates to the weak passwords thing. So use strong passwords and make it more complex so that it becomes difficult for the attackers to guess. You can also monitor your bank details and other financial information just to check if there's any unfamiliar activities going on onto your account. If you do find them, take action as quickly as possible and note the organizations that so-and-so has been going on onto your account. This will help reduce the risk of your information being stolen or anything like that. Also be more vigilant while you go onto URLs which are normally targeted by the malware attacks who give you emails. So there could be anything, any fake websites, but make sure you check for the HTTPS, which is onto your URL. So that's the way that you can know that it's more secure. And just finishing off, back up your files and wipe your hard drive so that there's no information on the hard drive when you're giving it out or selling it.
So one of the main factors of cybersecurity is online privacy. The reason for this is its evolving nature in the this evolving nature in the world today is incorporated in every person's day-to-day lives. The reason for this is its online services. These online services include online shopping, online banking, online communications, such as emails, online general browsing, and even social networking, such as Facebook and Twitter. Users need to be kept aware that the data they are entering into chats, credit card information, into the billing sites of websites are always safe. Some consumers are more sensitive to online privacy. The reason for this is because they wonder where their stuff is going. They ask questions such as, where's my data going, obviously? How do I know nobody else can access my data? So a third-party hacker, for example. Is my website real? Is the website fake? How to differentiate between a real website and a fake website. Now the question is, let's take online shopping as an example. So in online shopping such as Argos, the user goes to the big checkout page, they enter their billing information, so their address, and they enter their credit card information. So the question is now, from the transmission from the website to the back end of the company's database, where all the data the user enters, so the credit card and the billing information goes, how does the user know between this transmission that there's no third-party hacker? Again, linking back to this question here, how can no one access my data? They don't, that's the problem. Not until they are made aware by the company, such as Argos in this case, until they are made aware by the company Argos. So the reason for these threats, and the reason why online security is so emphasized in the world today, is due to the many different threats hackers are coming up with, such as these four here. So phishing, spyware, ransomware, and malware.
Phishing. What is phishing? The fraudulent practice of sending emails purporting to be from reputable companies in order to induce individuals to reveal personal information such as passwords or credit card numbers. The types of phishing are deceptive phishing, spear phishing, pharming, and Google Drive phishing. Firstly, beginning with deceptive phishing. Deceptive phishing. This is the most common type of phishing scam, in which it refers to an attack by which fraudsters pretend to be from a legitimate company and attempt to steal a person's personal information or login details. Those emails frequently use threats and a sense of urgency to scare users into doing the attacker's bidding. Spear phishing. For example, PayPal scammers might send out an attack email that instructs them to click on a link in order to rectify a discrepancy with their account. In actuality, the link leads to a fake PayPal login page that collects a user's login credentials and delivers them to the attackers. Spear phishing. In spear phishing, fraudsters mention the target's name, position, work phone number, and other information in an attempt to trick the recipient into believing that they have a connection with the sender. The goal is the same as deceptive phishing, which is to get the login details of a user. Spear phishing is especially common on social media sites like LinkedIn, where attackers can use multiple sources of information to send the target an attack email. To protect against this kind of scam, the organization should conduct ongoing employee security awareness and discourage users from publishing personal or job-related information on social media. Companies should also invest in solutions that are capable of inspecting suspicious emails for known malicious links or email attachments. Pharming. Under a domain name server's cache poisoning attack, an attacker targets a DNS server and changes the IP address associated with the alphabetical website name. This means an attacker can redirect a user to a malicious website of their choice, even if the victims entered in the correct website name. To protect against pharming attacks, organizations should encourage employees to enter in login details only on HTTPS protected sites. And companies should also implement antivirus software on all corporate devices and implement virus database updates. along with security upgrades issued by a trusted internet service provider on a regular basis. To explain farming, to explain the phishing which is caused by farming on social media, we can take the Dropbox example. Millions of people nowadays are using Dropbox every day to back up and access and share their files. Therefore, the attackers would try to target users with phishing emails on Dropbox because of its popularity. One attack campaign, for example, tried to lure users into entering their fake login details on a fake Dropbox sign-in page hosted on Dropbox itself. To protect against Dropbox phishing attacks, users should consider implementing two-step verification on their accounts. I'll be talking about now Google Drive phishing. Google Drive supports documents, spreadsheets, presentation, photos, and even entire website. Phishers can abuse services to create a web page that mimics the Google account login screen and harvests user credentials. For instance, a group of attackers did this back just in July of 2015. To add insult to the injury, not only did Google unknowingly host the fake login page, but a Google SSL certificate also protected the page with a secure connection. Once again, users should consider implementing the two-step verification. This can be enabled using secure feature via SMS messaging or the Google Authentication app. Now I'd like to conclude that what you get to learn from these type of phishing and the protection, that you can protect yourself from these kind of phishing if you ever spot them. Organization will be able to more quickly spot some of the most common type of phishing attacks, but that doesn't mean they will be able to spot each and every phish. On the contrary, phishing is constantly evolving to adopt new forms and techniques. Keeping that in mind, it's imperative that organizations conduct security awareness training on an ongoing basis so that their employees and executives stay on the top of emerging phishing attacks.
Spyware. What is spyware? Spyware is any program that secretly records what you do on your computer. It's a spyware. Spyware can be used for perfect, legitimate purposes, but majority of spyware is malicious. The aim of spyware, in the early stage, spyware did little more to report on to the authors each time the program is used. It was intended as a marketing aid or to monitor the use of licensing purpose. That still goes on, but a lot of spyware these days, nowadays, is designed to steal confidential information such as users' password, username, banking site, email account, social networking, and site online gaming. You may never know you have a malicious spyware on your computer, as it's intended to work quite in the background and over functioning and quietly of the program may be very appealing. They are often distributed as a shareware or a freeware with minimal license restriction in order to trap as many people as possible. They are still a way you can protect yourself. Yes, spyware. How to protect yourself from spyware? There are still several ways you can protect yourself from spyware. Firstly, you don't unrightly install it. You may spyware. Yeah. You may share well downloading site now, test programming, submitting to them, and offer guarantee that apps are free of spyware. Be aware of dangerous imposters out there, but there are also a malicious program that must. There are also a dangerous. There are also malicious program out there that are such as antivirus, such as anti-spyware, antiviruses tools. These are often advertised in spam emails occasionally on mobile phones, and it's very dangerous. They are generally used for exploitation.
Now I'll be talking about ransomware. What is ransomware? Ransomware, it is a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. Although ransomware is usually aimed at individuals, it's only a matter of time before business is targeted as well. How do we get ransomware? Ransomware is taking place due to mail spam and malvertising. I'll talk about mail spam. Mail spam uses social engineering in order to trick people into opening attachment or clicking on links by appearing as legitimate, whether that's by seeming to be from a trusted institution or a friend. Cybercriminals pretend from FBI in order to scare users into paying them a sum of money to unlock their files. Now, malvertising. Malvertising is the use of online advertising to distribute malware with little to no user interaction required. While browsing the web, even legitimate websites, users can be directed to criminal servers without even clicking on an ad. Those services catalog details about victim computer and their location, and then select the malware best suited to deliver. Now, the types of ransomware. Scareware. In this kind of ransomware, a person can create a pop-up message claiming that a malware was discovered, and the only way to get rid of it is to pay up. And if no actions are taken against those pop-up messages, then you are likely to receive more messages. But your files are essentially safe. Encrypting ransomware. In this ransomware, the cybercriminals steal your file and encrypt them until the money is not paid by the person to whom the file belongs. The reason to this why is that ransomware is so dangerous. It is because once cybercriminals get a hold of your files, no security software or system can restore them to you. Unless you pay the ransom, for the most part, they are gone. And even if you do not pay up, there is no guarantee that cybercriminals will give you your files back. History of ransomware. I'll be now talking about the history of ransomware. The first ransomware, known as PC Cyborg or ACE, was created in the late 1980s. PC Cyborg would encrypt all files in the C directory after 90 reboots and demand the user to renew their license by sending them $189 by mail to PC Cyborg Corp. In 2007, Winlock heralded the rise of a new type of ransomware that, instead of encrypting files, they locked people out of their desktops. Winlock took over the victim screen and displayed pornographic images. Then it demanded a payment via a paid SMS to remove them. Now I'll be talking about the ransomware attacks according to BBC, which has happened in USA, UK and Canada. These kind of ransomware attacks are mostly taken in Western countries. Let's talk about UK. In UK, some hospitals and GP have not been unable to access patient data after their computers were locked by a ransomware program. Those attackers demanded a payment worth of £2,300. In USA, the cyber attackers demanded a payment of 4 bitcoins from a hospital based in Greenfield, and that payment was worth approximately $55,000 at that time. Ways to deal with ransomware. Investing in cybersecurity. The first step in ransomware prevention is to invest in Awesome Cybersecurity, a program with real-time protection that's designed to thwart advanced malware. attacks such as ransomware, you should also look out for the features that will both shield vulnerable programs from threats, an anti-exploit technology, as well as a block ransomware from holding the files hostage, an anti-ransomware component. For example, customers who were using the premium version of Malwarebytes for Windows were protected from major ransomware attacks of 2017. Now, the second one to deal with ransomware attacks are creating secure backups. You need to create secure backups of your data on a regular basis. The recommendation is to use cloud storage that includes high-level encryption and multiple-factor authentication. However, you can purchase USBs or an external hard drive where you can save new or updated files. Just be sure to physically disconnect these devices from your computer after backing up. Otherwise, they can become infected with ransomware too.
Malware. What is malware? Any program or files that is harmful to a computer user, that's malware. They are malicious program and can perform a variety of functions, including stealing, encrypting, deleting sensitive data, or altering or hijacking core computer function, and monitoring users' computer activity without their permissions. Malware can be categorized in the different types, such as viruses, Trojan, worms, hardware, and bonnets. With the viruses attach themselves to a clean file and to infect clean files. They can spread uncontrollable and damaging your system. With the Trojans, that's another. With the Trojan is a kind of malware that disguises itself as a legitimate software, or it includes in a legitimate software that has been tampered with. Its intent is to act secretly and create a background. Its intent is to act secretly to create a backdoors in order your security to let others to harm your computer device. And we have with the worms. Worms. This infect your entire networking device, neither local or across the internet, by using your local interface. It uses each other constructive, effective machine to infect more. And we have with the hardware. This is another type. This is particularly aggressive advertising software that can undermine your security just to serve your adverts, which can give a lot of other hardware within your computer device. And the last one, which is the bonnets. Bonnets are networks of infected computers that are made to work together under the control of an attacker. And how do you remove malware from your computer devices, or how do you prevent yourself from a computer device, from a malware from your? How do you prevent your computer from a malware? To do this, each form of malware has its own infection and damaging. Each form of malware category, as I mentioned earlier on, have its own functions and how it could affect your computer. So each form of malware has its own ways of infecting or damaging your computer data, and so on, each require each require a different malware removal methods. Avoid suspicious email. By avoiding suspicious email, links or website are a good online habit to have, but only to get so far. Attackers can sometimes compromise even legitimate websites. Can also compromise even your website. So the most important is to just avoid yourself from avoid visiting unknown website or very harmful website or website that you feel it's not legitimate.
Okay, so however, there are many ways to reduce these internet privacy risks. This can be done from both the user's point of view and the website owner's point of view. So let's start off with firstly the website owner's point of view. The way the website owner can reduce the internet privacy risk to their users and consumers is by simply taking into consideration the Data Protection Act of 2018. Now what the Data Protection Act does is it controls how personal information is used by organizations, businesses and governments. So what the Data Protection Act is, it has a strict set of rules that these businesses and organizations, governments must follow. What they are called are data protection principles. There are two main types, although there are many more. So let's start with the first type. The first type is not keeping data no more longer than it is needed. So the reason this is so vital is because not all hackers need to be professional. Not all of them need to be professional, trained, or hackers basically. It can be any person that works in the back end of a database of the company. So let's say someone that has access to the database, they can walk in to the control panel or whatever. They can walk in, log into their account, and easily retrieve information of a consumer's billing information or credit card information. This will then lead to identity theft, financial fraud, or even ransomware, because they can hold the consumers at ransom. The second principle is protection against lawfully processing of the data that is being submitted to them, to the organizations or businesses. This will give users confidence knowing that certain rules are in place, which will then give them confidence when entering their data online, such as their credit card information, for example. Now, the second way that the second way to reduce internet privacy risks is from the user's point of view. So the main factor for the user, first of all, is having a strong password. Now, what this will do is, let's take online banking and online shopping. Let's take those two into consideration. What both do? So online banking, once a user logs in, you have access to the financial affairs. So you have access to their financial statements. You can do transfers. But when you log into a user's online shopping account, you have their billing information or their credit card information. This can all lead to ransomware, financial fraud, financial theft. Very easily if a hacker bypasses the password. So it is recommended that every person's password should be a minimum length of 10 characters or longer, with a combination of both numbers, special characters, commas, lowercase letters and uppercase letters. It is also recommended that a user should not put their date of birth or name in their password, as this is very easy to guess. The more secure the password is, the harder it is for the hacker, and the less likelihood of getting hacked in the first place. To emphasize the importance of a secure password, that emphasizes the purpose of a secure password. The second way for a user to reduce internet privacy risks is by avoid opening, or most importantly, entering data into the website that is not reliable. So how does a person know if a website is reliable? They need to know the difference between a real website and a fake website. The way they can take different measures to do this. So one measure is taking the URL of that website that may be fake and evaluating it for grammatical errors or spelling mistakes, because these are easy things to notice. The second way is to take the URL and put it into a separate search engine and evaluate the results that way to check if there's any prior history of that same URL being a fake website. So look for things like articles, for example, of that same website. The third way is to check the URL of the website for the website security certificate to see if it is green or red. Doing these easy things will avoid or avoid threats such as phishing.
Cyber hackers and firewall. Cyber hackers. Yeah, who is a hacker? And who is a cyber hacker? Cyber hacker is a person who find and exploit the weakness in a computer system or network to gain access. A hacker is usually a skilled computer programmer with a knowledge of computer security. A hacker gains unauthorized access to a computer system for his personal gains. How can a cyber hacker, how can a hacker hack a computer, and how do you protect yourself from hackers, cyber hackers? If a computer antivirus, anti-malware program or anti-firewall has been uninstalled or disabled, criminals can hack your computer, or it can also be an indication that your computer is hacked. Hackers may disable these programs to help hide any warning that would appear whilst they are on your computer machine or computer or device. To protect yourself from hackers, yeah, you need to make sure you have a firewall which is working correctly or it's on. So a firewall is a network security device that monitor incoming and ongoing network traffic and decide whether to allow or to block a specific traffic based on the defined set of security rules.
So what is antivirus software? An antivirus software detects and removes malware from the device that is installed on. There are two ways to install an antivirus software. It can be either done through downloading the package online and running it on your hard drive, or it can be either done by purchasing the disc, the CD or disc in store and running it manually through your CD player onto your laptop or PC. How this software works is by scanning the hard drive and database of the computer and showing the malware that may be present. This can be existing malware that the user may not even be aware that was present before. Malware can easily corrupt the files and gain access to personal information on the computer, as well as destroy personal photos, for example. Once the result of the scans are shown to the user then has the option to delete all the viruses, all the malwares that were found on the laptop and prevent any further damage being done. The software also increases the computer security. The reason for this is it will be able to block any new malware coming into the computer through emails or USB drives, anything like that. Having these sort of antivirus softwares on your computer will provide many different advantages. One advantage is that it will extend the life of your computer. The way it will do this is due to the fact that malware are known to gradually deteriorate both the computer's hardware and the computer's operating system over time, if it is left in the system for too long. The antivirus, however, will eliminate this problem, therefore extending the battery life, because it blocks all the incoming new threats, malware, or threats of it will eliminate all the new incoming threats of malware. Also, another advantage of this is that it offers peace of mind to the user knowing that their data is being kept safe, especially to those users that have been hacked before. This includes the personal photos that have been corrupted before, for example. Again, another advantage is that it not only does it scan the computer, but it also scans any removable devices that may be entered into the computer or PC. These include things like USBs and SD cards. What it will do, it will scan these removable devices when they are entered, and it will alert the user of any unknown threats that may be present in these removable devices. Not only does it alert the user, it will then eliminate any malware that are present, preventing any further damage being done onto this computer security system and hard drive. However, due to the evolving community we are currently in, hackers are coming up with new ideas and new methods to bypass the old antivirus security systems. But how companies are responding to this? They're responding by upping their security and adapting to these new malwares, such as ransomware, such as phishing, all these new ways that hackers are finding to bypass old security systems, antivirus companies are finding new ways to up their security. Hence why it is very important that users that have antivirus software installed on their laptops or devices always keep up to date. The way they keep up to date with the new versions is that simple pop-up windows will pop up anytime there's a latest version available on the internet of that same antivirus software. The antivirus softwares that are currently available in the market today include Norton, McAfee, and Avast. There are many more, but however, these three are really good ones and ones that I would recommend. I also recommend downloading them on your laptops, PC, and tablets, as well as mobile phones, to ensure security on all your devices at home, as well as your family members.
Keylogging. What is keylogging? A keylogger is a software that once stored in a system, it has the ability to record every keystroke made in that system. The recording is saved in a log file, which is usually encrypted. A keylogger can capture any information that you type at any time on your keyboard, even your personal information such as your username and your password. And it can record instant messages and emails. The people who usually use keylogging are employers and parents. They usually use it for good reasons. The employers use it to make sure that the work computers are used for business purposes only by the employers. And then parents use it to be informed on what their children are doing online. Keylogging can unfortunately also be used for bad reasons. Keylogging can be embedded in a spyware, which then allows people's personal information to be transmitted to an unknown third party. Keyloggers can be installed if you visit a malicious website or open a file attachment that you got via email, text message, P2P network, or instant message, or a social network. It is difficult to detect a keylogger, but there could be some signs. A computer becomes slower when you're web browsing. When using a mouse or a keyboard, it pauses on screen. And if you are typing using your keyboard, what you actually type doesn't show up. It doesn't show up on screen. And another sign could be that you are receiving error screens when loading graphics or web pages. So how can you protect yourself? Be cautious when opening attachments, because files received via mail, P2P networks, social media networks, and even text messages that you get from your phone can be malicious, can have malicious software that have a keylogger. Mobile security. What is mobile security? Mobile security is about protecting wireless computer devices such as laptops, tablets, smartphones from different threats against them. With an increasing amount of people using mobile phones, it has become more important to secure mobile phones. There are many mobile security concerns, and one of them is losing your smartphone. If you lose your smartphone and the mobile phone is not secured, a stranger can get a hold of it and get access to your social media account, and then you can get access maybe to your bank account and steal money from you. some mobile apps, that are requesting privileges can get access to data sources. They get access to a lot of data sources, which could be a problem. And then there can be malicious Trojan infected apps that look like normal apps, but are secretly uploading sensitive information, sensitive data into a remote server. If a smartphone is infected by an attacker, the attacker can attempt many things. The attacker can manipulate the smartphone by sending commands that can be used to send spams and to SMSs or an email or emails. The attacker can force a mobile to make phone calls. The attacker can probably can read your messages. The attacker can steal someone's identity and impersonate that person. The attacker can also get access to someone's conversations and also not only hear what the owner is saying, but also the third parties. Right. There are different ways to securing a phone. You can use a password. You can use a personal identification number. You can use pattern screen locks, and then there are more advanced ways like fingerprints, and then eye screeners and other forms of biometric readers.
Alright, so we'll be talking about dark web. So what is dark web? So basically, as you guys can see here, there are three parts to the World Wide Web. So there's the surface, the deep web, and the dark web. Surface web is basically where you do your normal browsing. For example, searching anything on Google, searching for products on Amazon, and watching videos on YouTube. The second part, the deep web, is basically where you have these password protected web pages where only certain users are able to access. For example, it could be your Facebook account page, your Middlesex account page, the email example, and it could be other things like government databases as well. And then comes the dark web, where all the illegal stuff, hackers and people like terrorists, whistleblowers and activists who use them. So what actually is it? So it was in 1990, the US military researchers created a technology that allowed intelligence operatives to exchange information completely anonymously. So therefore they were untraceable and were anonymous. Well, they called it Tor, which stands for the Onion Router. So it was designed to stay anonymous online. So therefore, people like terrorists, whistleblowers and activists use them. It can be only accessible by using special softwares. For example, the search engine like the Tor one, you can use it to search for illegal content or any content that's been surfing on the dark web. So it could be used for good or bad reasons as well. So terrorists like ISIS could use it for to chat with other terrorists in different countries, so to share information and plans between them. They can use it for fundraising, so that they can get the money to do what they want to. So e-currency bitcoins can be used as well, which is totally anonymous. Whistleblowers, for example, Edward Snowden, a former CIA who used Tor to pass unauthorized classified information onto the media that detailed the scale of the internet and phone surveillance undertaken by American intelligence agency. So without the access to Tor, the information might not be public. Activists can use it to protect themselves from the secret police of a country that are after them, as they could be involved in anti-government activities. So besides that, what can you find on dark web? So why is it different? So stolen information. So you can find your own data on dark web while surfing onto the dark web. So it could be your social security number to your bank card details. It could end up on there, and you can also buy your own login credentials as well, which you may not know that has been stolen. This happens when there is a data breach. Other things like illegal substances as well. So drugs, you can buy drugs and other toxic chemicals that can cause damage. Also disturbing and dangerous items. It can get ugly very fast. So things like you can hire people to murder, human trafficking, child pornography, body parts, and guns can be found on the dark web, where you can buy them. So in short, basically you can buy anything you can imagine, including things you would probably be better off not imagining. So how is this related to cybersecurity? Well, because it's been used by people that would like to remain anonymous, hackers could be there online, using their websites, posting their websites where they are anonymous and can send viruses to people who go to their websites. So they can send viruses if you're browsing their website. The other thing is information, like stolen information, illegal drugs, and other stuff. You're basically going into that and browsing it, taking the data and everything. That comes under security. So you're violating one of the cyber security rules. So therefore, you as a user turn into a criminal or hacker, I'll say. Yep.
Conclusion. Cybersecurity is a broad term, and we have given information about different topics. We have explained what they mean, why they are important. We have given examples of how we can be threatened, how we can be hacked, and on some of the 10 topics we have covered, we have also explained how we can secure ourselves. Thank you for listening. We hope that with all this information, you can now stay secured. If you have any questions, leave it down on the comment sections below.